Hey guys, welcome to a fresh version of the Pathways Wrap for 2023. As always, every week we're going to be looking at some exciting things that are going on within our Pathways system, including our male and female teams that play in the New South Wales Rugby League competitions, our Black Rabbits Elite Player Development Program, and also some exciting stuff that we're still doing up in Southeast Queensland with our Elite program up there. Starting off with, how our teams have been going in the New South Wales Rugby League comps. On the weekend we had 4 games in our Pathways with our teams heading up to Kurri Kurri to take on the Newcastle Knights. A bit of a mixed results on the day. The day was kicked off with a great win from our Harold Matthews Cup, coming back from behind in that one to record a 24-22 win. The next game of the day was our SG Ball, who come up against a really red-hot Newcastle Knights team at the moment, and unfortunately with some troops down in that one, we just couldn't go with the quality in that game of football. The boys fought hard, but that was another probably tough loss to cop. Looking onto the female games that were on the weekend, our Tasha Gale Cup, who off the back of their first ever win in the competition last week, were looking for back-to-back. They went up against grand finalists from last year in the Knights. After a tough first half, 12-6 at half-time to the Knights kicked on in that one with the game finishing up 22-6. And then our last game of the day saw our Harvey Norman Women's produce a great tough 16-12 win up against the Knights, with them defending their line to finish the game to win that one. Talking about our Harvey Norman Women's, one of the first stories that we want to have a look at this year is just recently we caught up with the coach and captain of that side. They're now going into round 5 of their competition in the middle of their season. Let's see how things have been travelling.
My name's Patricia Raikadroka. I'm from Fijian heritage. I've been at the South Sydney Rabbitohs for the last 2 years. I play centre and fullback, but pretty much anywhere the coach wants me to play. I was vice captain last year, but Shana was the captain most games because she played every game. So yeah. Well, last year when I came to the club, I had friends here. I knew they had a rich culture and history, and that's what brought me over to the club. And I've just been lucky to be here again this year after trialling at the end of last year.
This year's squad is a bit younger, a little bit more inexperienced, but I've got to give them credit there. Their willingness and keenness to learn, I'll take my hat off to them. I
think the girls have been really great. At first, having a larger squad, a couple of the girls weren't used to that, but then they soon found out that having more players and having more competition was really good for us, especially with injuries happening. It's a long season, even though it seems short. Anything can happen, things come up, and you just can't prepare for those things. So having a little bit more depth and having more players in our squad has definitely helped us. The girls have really come together really quickly. The culture we were able to build in the first month of pre-season was great, and it's kind of coming into fruition now where we're starting to win games and we're hopefully building for the rest of the season.
We've been very competitive. We're learning a lot about the rugby league and how we're playing in our structures here at South. So the last 3 games, there's been a bit of a foundation building, working on what works for us, what doesn't work for us. So it's been quite a bit of a learning curve the last 3 weeks, but we're starting to find our way.
Well, I was in the leadership group this year, so it was more of a shared role at first. So Alex and Sian, we were kind of playing around with it. Also training at fullback, there was a lot of responsibility there as a player and my position as it is. So at the time, it wasn't really a position I took on the field until obviously things happen, things change, and it's been great. I have been captain in teams of 4. I'm more of a quiet person. I don't say too much, but I hopefully will just give a few things that the girls can focus on, and I think that works for me, so hopefully it works for them too. And
the intensity and the willingness, and that resilience that we've been developing over the last few weeks has kind of paid off. Just continue to build, possibly get those girls to NRLW standard and progress from that point. And hopefully, as we all know, South Sydney in the next couple of years, NRLW.
Yeah, back end of this year, hopefully see out the rest of the season and then hopefully get down to some of the Lisa Fiola Cup games and then watch some of the Tasha Cup games. Hopefully they'll make finals as well on some of the boys teams and really just give back to the club in terms of the pathways that they're trying to build here and use my experience in the game to help those players. Obviously NRLW is always the goal, and I've been around a few semi-professional teams before, so hopefully in that space, if not as a player, then as a development player who can kind of guide younger players who are trying to make a name for themselves in rugby league.
Great to hear from the captain and coach of our Harvey Norman Women's team there. Hopefully off that win on the weekend, they can now build something for the last month of their competition and make a run for the finals. Looking ahead to games this week, we have an absolute bumper weekend in Pathways Rugby League with 9 games on this weekend with the club being represented. That all kicks off on Saturday with our under-17 Lisa Fiola, under-19 Tasha Gale and Harvey Norman Women's all up against the Cronulla Sharks, as well as our male under-16 and under-18 development games also against the Sharks. Also on Saturday, you can see our Jersey Flegg side in their round 1 game in the curtain raiser out at Shark Park against the Sharks. And then also over at Newtown at 3 o'clock at Henson Park, we have our KOE New South Wales Cup also starting their campaign. The weekend's then wrapped out on Sunday with our Harold Matthews and our SG Ball also returning to PointsBet Stadium to take on the Sharks in their junior rep games. As always, please check our website out for kick-off times and match details.